Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and we are here to talk about Pretty Woman, the Sesame Street edition, also known as The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Cause can somebody tell me why is we talking about Kandi playing peen karaoke at a 3-year-old's birthday party? Does anybody know? I think this would be a good time before we even get into this to suggest that some damn body call NeNe and say sorry. Cause this is a mess. If this is the best y'all got, I want my money back. Let me just tell y'all what these people gave me to watch on TV. I would just, tell you what I saw. But before we get into it, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are on the road to 8,000. I told y'all a while back I was going to start acting brand new. And I know, we've been acting like it's a pretty casual thing. We're at 7,000. We're almost, it's not. It's not. It's a pretty big deal. So if you're not in that number of those who have already subscribed, please help me be a big deal and go ahead and hit subscribe so we can get on this road to 8,000 and then our next milestones from there. Please and thank you. That concludes this public service announcement. Moving on. So the episode kicks off with Kenya planning a tea party for Brooklyn's 3rd birthday. She is talking to her planner and she's talking about the cost of the party that she's looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. I think she's absolutely out of her mind for a 3-year-old. I don't care how much money you got because this 3-year-old is barely going to remember this party and then all y'all going to talk about is peens and stuff at the party anyway. But let's move on. Let me not get ahead of myself. Kenya is planning this party and she's talking to her planner. They're discussing the cost. And she, for some reason, is discussing her divorce with the party planner about she doesn't know if her husband is going to help. Ma'am, we don't care. Do you have the funds to pay this? Because I don't care what your domestic situation is unless you are telling me you need help. Otherwise, that is your personal business. And I'm just going to need you to handle your payment business over here. Now, if you ain't gonna be able to pay this and that's what you telling me, then let's work something else out. But otherwise, you and this never-ending divorce is not my business. My thing is, Kenya been getting divorced longer than she's been married. We have heard more about the divorce than we heard about the marriage. We were not allowed in the wedding. We were not allowed in the marriage. But every time we look the damn divorces in our face, please, keep us out. The same way we wasn't welcome at your house, please, keep us out. Moving on. Sheree goes to the gym like she been doing for the past 14 years. Marlo meets Sheree at the gym to not work out like she been doing for the last 14 years. Sheree and Marlo are having a talk about raising boys because we're going to have to hear about Marlo being a Muntie in every scene she's in. Sheree, and then they start to gossip about this assistant that Drew has, which is apparently going to be the center of all the storylines. I can't even deal. This is so desperate. Marlo is letting Sheree know the gossip that has been getting around about her that started from this assistant. Kandi is apparently passing it around. Sheree is mad because Kandi don't like when nobody talk about her and spread rumors about her. But here she is passing around the rumor that came from the assistant. Well, y'all know Kandi is a walking double standard, so why is you shocked? Sheree is also letting it be known that Drew better get her damn assistant because the same dog that brought her a bone is also carrying bones because that assistant has also spilled some tea about Drew and her husband. And if need be, we know Sheree is willing to spill it all over the table. Moving on. We move on to Kandi and Todd's house. So Kandi and Todd's marriage is in a handbasket to hell. Todd literally sat up in the confessional as they're talking about everything Kandi has going on for business and this, that, and the third, and her doing sex scenes and how he handles that. And Todd sits up in the confessional and says, man, our sex life is the worst. God damn. The way I be trying to dig up Johnny Cochran, somebody please find me a lawyer. Didn't Kandi just come off of a dungeon tour selling sex? Doesn't Kandi have a line of toys? Doesn't she? I'm embarrassed for you. Cause what the heck? Why do y'all be married to people y'all don't like? Because you have to straight up just dislike your partner to get on TV and say that these people say. It's the worst. So Todd, because I don't know how else to move on from that. Like, what is we supposed to do with that? What is we supposed to do with that? Like, just, it's tragic. Just, Kandi's in the middle of some virtual meeting to discuss a play and some other ventures she has going on. And Todd comes in the room. They get to talking about their differences in terms of business matters of some of their ventures and whose name is on what. And I don't know if they forgot the assistant was in the computer listening. Yeah, they got into it about a show that Todd is pitching to a network that he wanted to exclude Kandi from executive producer credits on. He said basically he wanted to do something himself for himself and that everything they do is together. And Kandi is like, yeah, that's why I don't understand why you all of a sudden would want to do this by yourself. And Todd is like, well, I don't understand why you bothered. It's okay for you to have ventures by yourself, but then everything that I do has to be with you. And I'm not going to tell you a word of lie. Y'all know I dragged Todd by the baby hairs in the back of his neck. But he has a point. Why is it okay for you to have independent ventures, you to have independent sources of income, things that basically he has no attachment or right to, but everything that he creates has to be a joint venture? I do not blame him. If we are talking about self-preservation, he's gonna have to do something for himself that belongs to himself, that can support himself. Because if he and Kandi do spiral into separation, all that smiling Kandi do, she's smiling but ain't sweet. If they should spiral into separation, I don't foresee Kandi just letting him have this and that and the third and making sure he's okay. So yeah, you gonna need to build your own resume. And that's basically what Todd is saying, that he's pretty tired of doing all of these things as joint ventures that are, you know, things that are primarily his idea or that he is putting the most energy into, but Kandi ends up with the credit because she has the bigger name. I'm gonna tell you, as a creative, I understand that. I'm sure that it is a touchy subject because they're married and have had so many joint ventures, but as a creative, as a business person, I think it's the only thing for him to do. What is he supposed to do? Like, stay on Kandi's titty? Like, in that case, he'd be damned if he do, damned if he don't. You're damned if, you know, you do everything with her and it looks like you are riding her coattails, and then you're damned if you look like you trying to do something separate. You know, look like you're trying to run away maybe. Regardless of how it looks, I understand Todd's position. So let's get into Drew and her assistant. They're in this little toy store shopping for Brooklyn's birthday party, and they get to talking. Drew goes into how she's recently met Sheree, and that, you know, Sheree's like, oh, I heard a lot about y'all, and I said, oh, I hope only good things, and she's like, He just launches into Sheree. He goes into, well, you know, let me tell you, Sheree is one of my good girlfriends, but I had to cut all ties with Sheree because, you know, I mean, it's no secret, Sheree don't like to pay. Now, that is no secret. We know that. This is not new. Not only is this not new, this has been going on since long before Drew was on the show. So the way it comes across is like Drew finding something to insert herself in to become relevant to the show. Because one, you're not. Two, Drew keeps a friend with stale tea. It's always something stale, something off, something ain't right. I can't with Drew. And then people like Drew drive me nuts because You got so much going on in your house that you need to be worried about that you don't need to be sipping nobody else's tea. All the tea bags is busted at your house. You need to be at your house with a broom sweeping around your own door while you worry about she don't pay her assistance. That's between her and the small claims court. So as they're talking, she gets a call from Sonya. Sonya has apparently gotten into a car accident where something about a semi sideswiped her and dragged her down the highway. Now, here's my thing. Let me tell you why I think this was staged. You mean to tell me you get dragged by an 18-wheeler and you call your castmate, not your husband, not your mama, not your daddy, not your sister. You call your castmate about come pick you up? Now, I'm not saying this didn't happen, but I kind of feel like maybe this happened and they recreated the scene to like incorporate it into the show. But it was just odd for me. Like, we get there and Drew is picking Sonya up and like it's gonna be an adventure. She just got dragged down the highway. Like, what in the PTSD adventure are y'all going on? Now, that's just how I felt watching the scene. But then in the next scene, we see Sonya and her husband talking. We see that he's just returned from Texas. They have an elite chauffeur service that he started after he got out of the NFL. That business, I guess, took some hits with the pandemic, but they're trying to rebuild it. So he was in Texas apparently working on that when this car accident happened. So that's why she didn't call her husband to come pick her up, I guess, with my nosy ass, since I wanted to know so damn bad why she called her friend. That's what I get, I guess. But I do think their son is absolutely adorable. When he was practicing how he's gonna give Brooklyn the gift, and you better. That's when you know you got the best gift at the party. Here, just gonna have that. It was adorable. So we move on to Brooklyn's birthday party where everyone is arriving extremely late. Sheree is the first to arrive, and she is also in the confessional dressed like NeNe. And I would love to know why. Just what in the costume hell is Sheree wearing? She looks a damn fool. Sheree, So everybody starts to arrive at the party, and we start playing trivia games about Brooklyn because this 3-year-old birthday party is going to be the highlight event of the episode. Yeah. This is the best they've got. I don't know what the hell NeNe is doing. I don't know where NeNe is at, but you know, NeNe, if you can hear us, please come back. And bravo, if you're listening, I'm going to need you to throw your pride into a lake of fire and beg NeNe's pardon. So they get done with the trivia game and start to play a shady tea game, an adult game. Now, let me tell you something. I know with black people, the kids' party turns into the adult party about 2-3 hours after it starts. All right, once we done fed these kids and saying happy birthday, done played a couple games, opened some gifts. All right, we gonna crack a bottle or two. Okay, I'm very familiar. Having said that, what we ain't gonna do is start having drinks and discussing the deepest, darkest, dirtiest secrets we've heard about each other, because that's a recipe for street fights. Why would we do this? So now, having said that, why in the hell is that the game we decide to play at this 3-year-old's birthday party? They're writing their little tea down and they're, make sure it's fun tea. Let's do fun tea. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as fun tea. There's no such thing as fun shade. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the Aquarius in me. I do not do fun shade. I don't know how to do fun shade. That's why I don't play them games. Y'all want to play, do the little dances and stuff? No, we gonna fight at the end. So I don't know what they expected from this game other than problems. Make it fun shade. Girl, ain't no fun shade. So the tea starts out with Monyetta, who is Neo's ex and the mother of his children, and the reason that I still to this day cannot stand Neo, even though he has songs that I absolutely love. I cannot stand that for how he did this woman. But that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. But the shady tea starts out with her, which is that she looks like she's all natural, but she's had some work done. And she says, yeah, I actually put it in my book that I've gotten some boobies. So y'all ain't saying nothing. Next. So then we see Kandi pull her tea. And it says Kandi sucks in locker rooms. And Kandi is just taken aback. Now this did run me down a rabbit hole because I don't know what the hell is going on at Bravo, but they seem to be obsessed. I watched them last 2 damn episodes of that Kandi and the Gang. I couldn't bring myself to review it. I sat in front of this guy. I was so mad. I wasted so much damn time trying to review it, and I just could not even gather complete sentences. Now, on top of the fact that the show is just absent of substance, I watched this little Watch What Happens Live finale that Andy did with the primary cast members from Kandi and the Gang. And I'm trying to figure out why, Andy is asking them things like asking Brian, how big is Torrin's dick? Now, because these kids, not even kids, because they grown people, but to Andy about old enough that he could be some of these people's parents. Now, I don't care that he's just now having kids and got small children. You are of age to have adult children. Now, if your children were adult children, would you want some big grown man on TV asking them questions about dicks and, tell us the worst things you've done at work and how big is so-and-so's dick? What is the obsession with dicks? Because they've been around forever. And y'all seem to be obsessed with them like they are the newest craze. Help me. But that's my rabbit hole. Let me come back out. Back to the subject at hand. Kandi is at the table trying to figure out who wrote this because she's pissed. Everybody is like, I don't know. Ooh, who said that? Ooh, child. Sheree. Sonya said, well, I was expecting tea, but not this kind of tea at a 3-year-old's birthday party. Me neither. This is Long Island iced tea. Hell with Lipton. Drew want to know who the athlete is. Kenya just want to know if it happened before or during her marriage. And Marlo trying to figure out what in the hell locker room could she have given some head in because she ain't never been to college. Lord. And Kandi's in the confessional. I never in my life sucked dick in a locker room. Oh, okay, girl. Sheree says in the confessional, well, I didn't write it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she sucked in a locker room. Lord, gee. And Kenya told Kandi, listen, y'all got here too late. We don't even have time to argue about this. You're going to have to figure out what you sucked and what locker room on your own time. Moving on. So then they get into going after Marlo and La Archive about they got on the site. There is nothing on the site. Basically, they is trying to say Marlo is a scammer. And Marlo lets them know, well, that's not the way my business is set up. There is nothing to buy on the site. What you can do is you can email us an inquiry, and if we want to do business with you, we'll get back with you. Well, Marlo said if she's a scammer, she's an elite and exclusive one. So then Kenya brings up the La Archive opening event, and she tells Marlo that she feels a way because it got back to her that Marlo made comments about her borrowing a car from Lisa Ray, and next thing you know, they're going back and forth about who's driving a used Range Rover and who's driving a used Rolls Royce. And child, this is so contrived. This is so, we don't have anything really going on, and we are going to literally make up drama that I cannot even take it, but let's just keep on going. So we move on to the next tea-pulling argument, which is someone doesn't pay their assistants. And Sheree is all ears because she all ready to bust Drew's head. So Drew speaks up to say, yeah, I heard that Sheree doesn't pay her assistants. I was trying to talk to you at Marlo's party to say, we have people in common, but I didn't have that chance. And so, yeah, my assistant said that he was your assistant and you didn't pay him. So Sheree starts to light into her and says, well, hold on. First of all, you have my number. So if you had something you wanted to share with me, you could have called me. And furthermore, he was never my assistant. Drew starts to kind of defend herself by saying, well, and I don't know how much of it is true because I don't know you personally. And Sheree says, exactly. So if you don't know me, why are you going around spreading this rumor like it's true or you know it to be true? And she's like, I never spread it. She said, did you not go tell Kandi? For Kandi to go tell Marlo and go tell Kenya, and who else did Kandi tell? And then Kandi sitting there looking down, but I was just trying to give Drew a chance to tell on herself. Now I'm in trouble. Just shut up. So Drew starts trying to argue that this guy did work for Sheree, that he has emails that he can provide as proof that he worked for her. And she overtalks Sheree every time Sheree starts talking, and Sheree kind of snaps and hit her with the STFU. Could you please shut the fuck up? And she said, yeah, because you're not going to play with me, my money, or my kids. Drew, you a little bit out of your league, all right? Please remember that Sheree is the original wig tugger. Drew starts, well, I just thought the conversation was a necessary conversation to have. And Sheree said, yeah, with me, not Kandi. So Sheree asked her, are you so desperate that you have to have an assistant to talk about all your friends with? And Drew is just as dumb. No, I have 3 assistants. Oh my God. We know you got to check this season. That wasn't the question. Now, Sheree's girlfriend is sitting on the other side of the table, and dumb must be a trigger for her too, because she just comes out of nowhere. But is this the same assistant that told you her husband was gay? What the hell? The whole table just gasped. Like, what? Sheree just, oh my God, oh Lord Jesus, I wasn't going there. The girlfriend, I don't know if she's vying for a spot on the show, but she just decided, you know what, I'm gonna knock all that shit over. Oh yeah, look, hey, yeah, I'm just trying to help you out because I don't feel like this. Yeah, let's just call a thing a thing. The assistant told you that she owed him money, and the assistant told her that your husband is gay. So now, what's up? Now here's my thing. This seems to be the go-to thing. When they get to slinging mud, they start going after the sexuality of the husbands. It's old, it's tried, it's stale. Like, okay. So Drew is pissed, and Drew starts going off about, don't you ever bring my husband's name up in that light. Don't you ever. Sheree's friend is like, I don't know why she keeps defending this assistant, because it's him that's dragging her name. I'm just repeating what he's saying. And as they're going back and forth, Kenya's girlfriend of the Caucasian persuasion jumps up and loses it. This is a kid's party! Oh my God, this is a kid's party! Everybody looked at her like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Sonya said, just go, lady. And Marlo said, I don't know why she complaining. There's a bunch of girls. She know this will go on. Kenya is off to the side trying to calm her friend down. Listen, I'm so sorry. I thank you for coming. Marlo in the confessional screaming about, Kenya, don't be inviting your old bougie white friends if they don't understand. So, Lord Jesus. Help. Now, let me tell you, I understood why the lady was upset. I do get it, because it is a highly inappropriate conversation for a children's birthday party. I get it. However, just go. People kill me when they got to make this whole scene before they leave. This is a children's party. I'm not taking it personal, but oh my God. And she is just stomping back and forth, just in and out the scene. Lady, go. If you are that offended, get your purse, get your book bag, get your baby, get your snacks, and go. Just go. All that bunch of screaming and carrying on, we ain't got time for that. Gone on. So after Kenya calms her friend down and escorts her out, they sink into a lower abyss, and they just start hurling bitch across the table. Sheree says, I thought you were a nice girl. I thought we were going to be able to get along, but you was a dizzy bitch. And Drew, did you just call me a dizzy bitch? Yeah. And I'm so sorry, but at least the dizzy part is accurate. So Sheree goes, yeah. Sheree, we know you are the original city girl. We know you are about that life, okay? We get it. Drew ain't about that life. All that itch. You know she's not going to knuck if you buck with you. Sheree is just a bit much. I just feel like Sheree is capable of far greater reads. Be more creative. So Kenya, now that, she realizes this birthday party is about to go completely awry, she starts asking them to lower your voices and let's not scream at each other, because this is still a children's birthday party. And Kandi, yeah, we shouldn't even play this game. Kandi's still pissed off about the peen karaoke. Kenya takes this opportunity to say, well, you know, also, Drew, I think you owe this lady an apology because all she was doing is telling you what your assistant said about you and you jumped on her. And Drew's like, no, nobody's going to talk about my husband like that. The whole table is going around about, yeah, you need to be pissed off with him about what he said about your husband. You worry about what he said about Sheree, that she repeated back to you what he said, but you ain't mad at him. And so after she realizes that, yeah, you do look like a dumb dizzy, she starts, well, yeah, I took what you said to heart and he's on probation. Probation? Girl, this man is out here. You got a husband who is already an absolute dog, who has already been termed a maniac by a professional who is licensed to call him that. And this is the added rumor, and he's on probation. And Drew, being as dizzy as she is, oh Lord, this dumbass girl, she decides that the problem is not the assistant, the problem is still Sheree. So if I'm wrong for discussing what he told me about Sheree with Kandi, isn't Sheree wrong for not coming to tell me that this was said about me? And Sheree in the confessional said, Drew really is a ditzy bitch. She just is this bitch is ditzy. You were going around spreading a rumor that came from this guy. And I'm confronting you about you spreading a rumor. This guy is spreading this rumor and you're mad at me that the guy you're defending is actually spreading a rumor about you. You good and dumb. So after all of this absolute foolishness, the drama comes to an end with singing happy birthday to Brooklyn because we're still at a 3-year-old's birthday party. Yeah. And they have the nerve to try to make this end wholesome with taking pictures and the kids and, you know, Kenya talking about how she doesn't want Brooklyn to feel like anything is missing out of her life with Mark not being there full time. Y'all can go straight to hell. The next thing y'all need to do, call NeNe and say sorry. Ask her if she's busy because this is what's not going to be happening. How y'all could turn out a 3-year-old's birthday party is beyond me. But that is the end of this episode. That's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here and listening to me, letting me get this off my chest. Because I did not know what to even think or make of this episode. It's just, okay. But as always, in the meantime, until next time, love you, beat it. Bye.